99.99% of the time, I recommend trading your services for your client's money. But in this video, I'm going to give you 7 different reasons other than money that you might use to take on a project. It doesn't always have to be money. Now, before we jump into this, sometimes there's a combination. Sometimes it's a project that the client has a budget that's too small and you agree to do it for one of these reasons, but they still pay you something. Sometimes it's just a complete donation of your time and services and talent because they have no budget, but you still decide that you'll take it on because of one of these 7 reasons. The first non-money reason you might take on a project is for a portfolio or case study. It is a super sick project. The client's going to give you free rein to do what you want to do. You can be totally creative, and it's something that you can put in your portfolio as an epic case study that will help you land more work in the future. It is a viable reason to take on a project with no money. Just make sure that you have a clause in your contract that says you get portfolio rights. We'll talk more about that coming up. The second reason you might take on a project other than money is for referrals. If the client is genuinely connected to people, not one of the people who says that they know a lot of people, but one of the people who actually knows a lot of people, then you might take on a project just for the connections with that person and what it might yield in the future, even if there's no money attached. It's a viable justification for you to take on a project. Now be careful, because oftentimes the cheap client claims to know a lot of people, and then they're going to give you a lot of referrals, and then you never get anything for the project. So be careful of those people, but just do your research and determine if the client is actually someone who is connected and can yield new relationships for you. The third reason that you might take on a project with no money attached is for awards. If this is a cool project that you can submit for awards, then you can take it on because the award marketing can yield more business for you. A lot of the projects that you see on the award sites and magazines are concept projects. They're not projects that had $1 million of budget against it. A lot of them are concept work, your own idea that you spin into an award-winning case study. And it's a viable reason for you to take on a project for a client when there's not enough or no money attached. The fourth reason you might take on a project with no budget attached to it is for personal satisfaction. It's okay to take on a project if you just want to. If it's just something like, you're like, that seems cool, I want to do it, then take it on. There's no reason you can't just give your time to whatever you want to give your time to. But don't do this when you're super busy. You got tons of other paying projects and you're in this buried, stressful state. Don't take on a project that has no budget attached to it. So only do this personal satisfaction play when you have time to spare. The fifth reason you might take on a project with no budget attached is because it's a new niche for you. It opens up access to a niche. Let's say you always wanted to get into Hollywood work, doing work for Disney and for Warner Brothers and stuff, and you get a project that can open you up to that niche in relationships and in case study and in expertise and just knowing how that industry works. If you got a project like that that can get you into that niche, then take it on, even if the budget isn't sufficient, or even if there is no budget. You might take it on just because there's access to a new niche you've been trying to get into. Maybe Hollywood's not the best example of that. Maybe it's like coffee shops, and there's some new coffee shop and you want to do their branding because it will expand you to be able to market to other coffee shops in that niche. You can take it on because it's something you're passionate about and it opens up the niche for you. The next reason is for a product or service trade. I've shared the Beefalo story before, but there was a client, this was 2009 during the recession. We were hard up for money projects. It was a rough year. And we had a client who wanted us to do the branding and website for his Beefalo business. Now, Beefalo is the combination of a buffalo and a cow, and it's called Beefalo. And we did the site and we did the branding, and we were supposed to get, in addition to the small budget that they had to work with, we were supposed to get a freezer full of Beefalo. We never got the Beefalo. I'm still mad to this day. Like, I'm hungry for some beefalo right now. A nice beefalo steak on my Traeger would be delicious, but we never got the beefalo. And the reason is because I didn't put it in the contract that we were supposed to get the beefalo, because I didn't know that I should, and I'm going to show you that here in a few minutes. Now, the final reason you might take on a project for no money is philanthropy. It's philanthropy. You appreciate the cause and you want to contribute to the cause. Maybe you love whales and you want to contribute to the Save the Whales movement. Well, give your time all you want to a philanthropic cause that you are passionate about. It's a justifiable reason to take on a project just from the goodwill of your heart. All right, so the next time that you are analyzing a project on whether you want to take it or not, and the money is not sufficient, you can look at this little chart right here, and you'll see that maybe the money's not good, but it's a portfolio case study. Everything else doesn't qualify, but it's a portfolio case study and you take it on because of that. Or maybe it's a new niche access, or maybe it's philanthropy. It has to check one of these boxes and you have to get something in exchange for your work. Don't just do it for free without getting something in exchange. And these are justifiable things to exchange for your time and skill set. Now, here's the big one. And this is what you're not doing. If you have a client who does not have sufficient budget, but you agree to do the project for other reasons other than money, you still need to put that in your contract. You still need to make a contract and do it like this. You show the phases of the project. Right here we have strategy, design, production. 1,000, 1,500, 1,500, it's a $4,000 project. Then you go below that and you say the client payment will be portfolio rights credit, meaning you're going to get the rights to use this in your portfolio as you see fit. You're going to give them a credit of $4,000 and show a balance of $0. They paid for the work using the credit you gave them for portfolio rights. Or maybe it's the freezer full of beefalo credit, $4,000 that you're going to give them. It gives them a balance of $0. Or maybe it's a donation to their philanthropic cause. That's a $4,000 credit. You're going to do it for $0. But you have to show the credit inside of your contract, and you still have to make a contract. Just make it the payment be the thing that you agree to do it for. Okay, hope that helps you get some ideas on why you might be justified in taking on a project that is not financially big enough for you to do it. I've done projects for every one of these reasons over my agency run. They're all justifiable depending on your circumstances, so use your judgment. Okay, thanks a lot for watching. Hope this helps you navigate your freelance business and creative agency. Thanks a lot. Hit subscribe, hit like, drop a comment, drop an emoji, share it with a friend, all that stuff. Thank you so much. We'll see you again in another video coming soon.